The doctor encountered several collapsed arterial areas, and he would have given up, except I spoke to him and said, "Watch this." I was helping him. Today's NDE is by Chet. On a Sunday morning, February 17th, 2002, starting at about 7:30 a.m., I suffered several heart attacks, 6 to 7 separate but connected events, which resulted in a terror-filled trip to the nearest hospital with my wife driving. While I was being prepared for surgery in the catheter laboratory, I had the big one and I died. The cardiac team then worked to revive me for 20 minutes without success, so they attempted to access my heart via another route. At that time, I was about 10 feet above everyone and watching. The room had a very tall ceiling. The young man standing at my head was slapping me in the face saying, "Chet, Chet, stay here." I felt extremely concerned about the disappointment I was seeing. I especially was worried about the man below and directly to my right. He appeared to be a Hindu-looking man, maybe from India. This was very mysterious to me since I live in western Montana. I later learned that the doctor's ethnicity is Indian. Nevertheless, I could tell he was upset with the current events, and I somehow knew I needed to help him. I kept thinking someone needs to help him. Please, won't someone help him? Because he really needs some help. Of course, everyone was so busy that nobody could help. I wasn't doing anything, so I guess it was up to me to lend a hand and help. At the same time, I was ignoring a very strong invitation to leave. However, I knew for the moment I was stronger than the invitation, and I knew I could stay where I was as long as I needed to. Still, I knew I couldn't stay there forever. I was totally focused on my concerns for the doctor and the desperate events below me. As stated, the cardiac team then accessed my heart via my left side. There was blood everywhere, and they had a hard time controlling the loss of blood in all the frantic work. This new route was more difficult, which I'm now told is a much harder and longer route to the heart. This took another 20 minutes. During this time, the doctor encountered several collapsed arterial areas, and he would have given up, except I spoke to him and said, "Watch this." I was helping him. I believed I was speaking to him telepathically, but the doctor said I was talking to him. The doctor confronted me later, saying he had never had a patient talk to him all the way through such protocol. This spooked him badly, and he told my wife and me that he didn't want that sort of thing to happen to him again. No one can explain how I could talk to the doctor only. Anyway, my saying, "Watch this," happened 4 different times on each difficulty he encountered. Spooky. Well, they reached my heart. It's all on CD. And it was a complete and total surprise that their work ended up reviving me, all after being dead for about 40 minutes. They thought I would be brain dead, all clotted up, and a stroke victim. Still, I awoke in a private room in the intensive care unit. I saw a nurse doing her records at a small fold-down table, and there was the same man who had been slapping me on the face in the surgery. I felt weak, but sort of normal. I looked over at this guy. He was reading a magazine, and I said, "I know you." Keep in mind, I had never met anyone at this hospital before. He immediately jumped up and said, "He's back." And he flashed his outstretched palms at me and said, "Where'd you go?" I said, "I was above you, about 10 feet. You were slapping my face very hard, and you were asking me not to go, but I was already gone." He said that I couldn't know him because we've never met. So, what was it like where I was? I tell everyone, don't be afraid, and don't plan on taking a break after death. The invitation was like 300 million people all at once saying a reverberating and surprising "Hi" instead of a simple "hello." It was all very upbeat and such a warm and good feeling, like getting home. The excruciating pain that I had been suffering had disappeared. Upon reflection, I must have appeared very vain not to accept the invitation to go. I guess I was being true to my nature. I mean, I've always sacrificed myself for everyone and everything. Throughout my life, in times of great strife, I unselfishly act for the sake of others. I had done this as a child, or as a young man in South Vietnam combat, and as an older person. I always take care of everyone before myself. I am honestly a totally unselfish person. The doctor told me I came back to help again. One of my doctors told me I should not be here and that I should be dead. He thinks the mistake of my coming back is not the way things are supposed to unfurl in the universe. My other doctor asked me why I came back, and I said, maybe God isn't ready for me, or the devil is too afraid of me. He got a big laugh out of that, but I was being honest. I now live with the weird feelings that after death, you somehow get debriefed for 30 to 33 years, and then you're given another try to do the best you can in a new physical life. Who knows? All I can say is that I've never thought about things like this before. Oddly, I never joined or followed any religion because I see them all as having turned into a commercial industry. I guess I'm not interested in public religion. I haven't studied the Bible or any other types of religious documents, so it bewilders me to think that I should not fear death. Actually, it's the dying that hurts, not what comes afterward. Think about it. Let's take all your air away and you don't get any more. Now that hurts in countless ways and it's fearful, but it's only temporary. I haven't become a religious fanatic, nor have I changed my life. I'm still the same good person I've always tried to be, except now I'm giving even more of myself. My lifelong axiom has been, if you truly care about everyone, everyone will truly care about you. According to my doctors, I survived the biggest and worst heart attack you can have. I now have extensive heart damage and considerable loss of heart function. I also have back-to-back stents, so they're long enough to work, yet I look and act normal. To this very day, my doctors are amazed and dumbfounded about my heart attack and all these events. Maybe there's a reason for my being here, and my reason just hasn't happened yet. Just before my heart attack, I felt like I was coming down with a mild cold, yet I had no classic pain symptoms. Just minutes before I fell to the floor, I had taken 3 aspirins. I never take aspirins, since I've never had a headache in my life. I can't explain why, and I don't know why I took those aspirins. My doctors claim this one act saved my life in the long run, as it thinned my blood enough to keep oxygen available through the blockages.